So I wanted to take some space and talk about shame. Just with some of the things that are going on in the country, and some of the laws that recently have been passed in some other states, I just feel like we're going backwards. And I would like to personally just take some time to talk about shame, because as a lesbian woman, a gay woman, this is something that I hold dear to me and has been part of my journey and the difficultness of coming out. And I believe that we're making it hard for children nowadays when we've just made like so many leaps and bounds forward in things, and we're now taking humongous steps backwards. And I'm just worried for the children of that generation, of this generation coming up, that they're going to feel like they need to stay closeted again. And just talking from my own experience, I'm 37 and I still feel very shameful at times for being gay, for being a lesbian. I know that I see this within my friends as well. I believe some of us have even talked about it. And, it's not something that I think is easy for our community to even really talk about. And the shame that we do feel towards it, a lot of it is, trying to talk about pride and being open and being so proud about coming forth in that sense. But, a lot of us don't really discuss the feeling of having to tell somebody else, a new person or your employees or new people in your life, like, I'm gay, and that feeling sometimes. And I know for me, like, I feel shameful, or I just even stress about someone's response. And because it was such a battle within my 20s of me coming out and feeling comfortable in my own skin and being able to just even admit to myself that I am a lesbian. And again, I just want to stress, because for those of you who have been following me and understand my story, you know that, like, that's part of the reason why I drank, was because I tried severely hard. I drank myself to be straight, and because I would just societal views and constantly hearing, like, you're too pretty to be gay, or something had to have happened to you. And hearing that over time, really just kind of like ate at me, and I just felt like I had to try to be straight, and I wasn't trying hard enough. And the harder I tried, the more I drank. And the minute I stopped drinking, I was able to shut that door and never have to look back. And everyone's story as to coming out is different than mine, or than the next gay person. But I think a lot of us can still understand, especially from my generation, the shame that we feel just even saying, like, I'm gay, because of somebody else's response. And I don't want to say that that's inherently what makes me who I am, because that's not how I feel, but it's a big part of my life when choosing a life partner, somebody who's going to spend, I hope at least 50% of my life with me. And in the laws that we're passing in this country currently, and not in my states, but how can you be okay and not thinking about these kids' future? How can you be okay just not saying that it's okay? There's nothing wrong with somebody, especially if it's a skin, if it's a shoe you don't understand. What's so wrong in that? I just don't get it. I understand to some extent what you're trying to do. You're trying to help kids prevent this pressure of them having to feel like they need to choose that. It will choose them. And I hope that you're keeping kids away from, social media or the television or any of that stuff. It's all over. It's everywhere. I don't live in these states, and I'm able to post this online. They can see that. And it's okay to be gay. It's okay to be transgender. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's not a choice. It's not someone's choice. I know, even those who I think have probably chosen that, they end up going back to being straight. Like, it's not a choice. Ask them. They can tell you it's really not. Like, it ends up working itself out. Like, the skin that I want to wear What does that have to do with you? Think about yourself and ask yourself that question. Like, what does this have to do with me? Because a lot of this, you know, and I don't know if anybody else, but like, let's talk about projection. We are now projecting shame onto these children. And that's the thing that's just so sad, because there's nothing wrong with that. And we're still, you know, fighting this to this day. And history is repeating itself. And I'm hopeful that, you know, we've come too far for it to go this way. And just anybody who's experienced, who understands what I'm talking about and the shame around the LGBT community, and we have our own stuff. We're not perfect, we're human too, but that's the point, is that we're human. And, you know, I'm just, you know, excuse me for being wild and crazy, and maybe it's the hippie in me, but I just believe that we should all be treated fairly and equally as much as possible. I'm just about equality. And, you know, if I can help, you know, someone else just to change their view on having any type of understanding of what it's like to come out, or just feel different from other people, or different from what societal view thinks that you should be, I hope that I'm at least helpful in that sense. It's okay if you're gay. It's okay if you're transgender. It's okay in any of those things. As long as you're not harming other people. If you're not harming younger children. And I have to truly be honest, and in some sense I feel like this is going to be harmful to children. So, you know, for anybody else, please share your experience. Share this with other people. I hope that more gay people, we talk about the shame around and the difficulty of the shame about being gay. And as proud as I am about being a lesbian, and being out, that's what I'm proud about, is being out. It still isn't easy in this day and age, and I feel like we're only making it harder. And I would hope that we're breaking cycles and generational curses, that we're able to let our children come out and feel safe in their environment. So that's all I wanted to share. Namaste.